During the making of this video, the operators of various mines allowed the staging of certain conditions which may at first appear to be unsafe and not according to certain federal, state, and/or company safety procedures. These scenes were created strictly to demonstrate the differences between correct and incorrect safety and work procedures in the mining environment. They in no way are a true reflection of the condition or operation of the mine shown in this video production.
Hello, welcome to another in our exciting mine safety training video series. Today we're going to be discussing plant maintenance safety with you. All mining plants perform maintenance and sometimes they need unexpected repairs. It's a fact of life in the mining business. We're going to show you some safety tips on how to plan for, organize, and carry out plant maintenance safely. We're also going to highlight some common shortcuts and dangers that you'll definitely want to avoid. So gather the work team and make some notes as we outline ways to stay well and stay alive during plant maintenance and repair.
How many things need to be maintained or repaired around the plant? Whether it's cleaning materials from conveyor tail pulley areas, conveyor roller inspections, lubrication of speed reduction gears and head pulleys, screen inspection and repair, or crusher buildup and teeth repair on a roll crusher. All of this maintenance needs to be done to keep the plant running. No matter what size plant, big or small, no matter whether this is routine maintenance or a breakdown, there are steps that you can follow for safety and maintenance tasks. Why don't we start with the concept of stop for safety? Sounds a bit strange, doesn't it? Stop for safety? Well, here are the details. Stop everything you are doing and gather your people together. Think about and identify all of the potential hazards. What are all of the energy sources connected to the job area that need to be locked out, tagged out, blocked, and tested to be non-operational before you enter the area? How will you accomplish safe access to the work site? What are the walkways, stairways, ladders safely leading to the site? Will you need to build platforms or be lifted by a man lift to the site? Will fall protection need to be worn by workers there? What other personal protective equipment may need to be worn? Is this a confined space, like this heat exchange vessel? Is atmospheric testing required? Has a permit form been filled out and posted properly by the supervisor for the area? Will you be using chemicals, solvents, lubricants, welding rods for the job? If so, before using any of these products, read the material safety data sheets for information on handling, PPE, spill control, firefighting, and first aid. Will there be any danger of causing a fire, such as work on rubber chutes that have been known to catch fire? What fire prevention and firefighting abilities will you need? Organize and assign job tasks to every team member. Are the persons qualified to work in the area for electrical, welding, or other special tasks to be involved? What task will each team member perform? What tools will be needed by each team member? What is the schedule for work and job completion? Plan and carry out every step of inspection, maintenance, and repair. Review the steps for each task and ask each team member to verbally verify their part of the job. Review the steps for mitigating and protecting from all hazards. Ask all team members for any questions regarding procedures or safety. Answer all of their questions now, before starting any tasks. Secure the job site area if required with warning tape, barricades, orange cones, or the like. Perform all lockout and tagout on all energy sources. Test all affected equipment to be non-operational. Remove any safety guards that you need to. Perform all tasks completely. When finished, replace guards, remove all workers to safety, and only then restore all energy to equipment. Now that we've looked at how you can safely plan for and then complete any inspection, routine maintenance, or repair at the plant, let's identify common shortcuts and dangers to prevent in plant maintenance in our industry. Who are you really kidding when you say, it'll only take a minute to finish this job? I could be finished by the time I go get the locks and tags and shut down all energy sources to the equipment. You're really not kidding anybody, and you're needlessly putting your life in jeopardy. Let's look at lockout procedures for the inspection of a tail pulley on a conveyor. First, identify all of the energy sources for the conveyor belt. Supply each worker with individually keyed locks and tags. Make sure you have a multiple lockout device that can be attached at each energy source, which will hold each worker's lock and tag. Now, at each energy source, each worker should attach his lock and tag and put the key to the lock in his own pocket. Test all power sources to the conveyor to ensure that conveyor is non-operational. Now, you may remove the guard to the tail pulley and then inspect and clean the area of excess material buildup. When finished, replace the guard, retrieve locks and keys, clear workers from the belt area, and restore energy and make sure that the belt startup alarm works as the belt starts. Whether you're cleaning materials from tail pulleys, inspecting conveyor rollers, cleaning excess spillage of materials out of hoppers or chutes, inspecting or repairing screens, inspecting and repairing pumps, or doing maintenance at the crusher, always lock out and tag out energy sources and test the equipment to be non-operational before you start your work. It is so tempting to take the fastest route possible to the job and get maintenance or repair done as quickly as possible. The fastest or easiest way to the area is not always the safe method of access. Unfortunately, you see miners walk right up the middle of a conveyor belt to inspect a rip or tear in the belt. Where's his fall protection? Is the power locked out? When you need to reach the top of the conveyor, use a man lift or ladder and wear the proper fall protection. Another favorite is to see miners standing on an I-beam for access to speed reducers or head pulleys on conveyor belts. Once again, fall protection must be used, and the miner needs to have that lanyard tied off to an approved anchorage to arrest a possible fall here. No doubt, you've seen workers attempting to repair screws or classifiers, and they're standing on a ledge or a beam, precariously exposing themselves to danger from falling. Once again, fall protection with a proper anchorage must be used to prevent injury or death. How many times have you looked at miners using stairs or ladders that are damaged with either a bent stair or missing foot rung on the ladder? This is unsafe access and should be repaired immediately. How about walkways with either bent or missing handrails? This area is no less dangerous, and handrails should be repaired or replaced at once. No matter what the situation, use safe access and get the job done without injury or incident. Look at that conveyor up above. Look right next to it and check out that front-end loader operator who's going to lift a miner up in the bucket to reach the conveyor. This happens every day, but it's wrong. Do not lift miners in the bucket of a front-end loader. Instead, use a man lift or the appropriate walkway, platform, or ladder to reach the area. Here's another one. This forklift operator has put a pallet on the forks, and now he's going to let a worker step up on the pallet and lift him to an overhead work area. Again, don't use this unsafe practice. Use a man lift platform, or ladder to reach the area. How about mobile cranes and improper lifting? A crane operator is about to lift equipment, but he hasn't put the outriggers out. Again, this shouldn't be done. You're risking a rollover with this type of improper lifting. Another unsafe act involves the mobile crane operator about to lift a load that is much too heavy for the crane. Stop, check that load capacity of the crane, and if the load is too heavy, then get a larger crane to perform the lift for the job. Traco operators have been known to put a worker in a bucket and either lift him to an overhead area or try and lower that worker into an entrenchment that may not have proper benching and shoring. Again, the worker doesn't belong in the Traco bucket. Use man lifts for overhead access and appropriate ladders and safeguards for descent into entrenched areas. Finally, mobile equipment operators get their equipment too close to an energized power line. This is a very dangerous activity that must be avoided at all costs. Stay at least 10 feet away from any energized power line. If you are unsure as to whether that line has power, treat it as if it is energized until you know that the power has been shut off and locked out. You're asking for serious injury and even worse when you use a hammer that has a cracked handle, loose head, or a mushroomed head. The same goes for trying to use damaged punches or chisels. How many times have you seen someone fashion a makeshift plate steel temporary wrench because they didn't have a large enough primary wrench for the job? This wrench poses a danger because it may not fit properly and it's not made out of the proper metal for the task. A favorite tool shortcut is the use of a pipe or a cheater bar on the end of a wrench handle to get more torque or ability to turn that wrench on the job. Avoid at all cost and do not use pipes or cheater bars on wrench handles. That pipe can slip and you can be in a world of hurt in a hurry. Often you gotta move a load. You don't have a crane in the area, so you're tempted to use a come-along and improperly move that load. You could be headed for serious trouble with this improper tool for the job. Even when the proper crane or lifting device is available, operators often attempt to use a hoist with a hook that has a broken or missing guard latch to keep slings or cables from sliding out of the hook. Under no circumstances should you use a crane with a hoist and hook that doesn't have a safety latch. Always replace damaged or broken tools. Use only approved tools for any task. And if you don't have the proper tools, then acquire them before you hurt yourself or others by trying to take a shortcut during maintenance or repair. One of the greatest potential dangers in welding or cutting is created when miners conduct these activities without proper ventilation. You must have the proper natural ventilation or forced ventilation in place before beginning the job. Perhaps next on the list of dangers would be welding or cutting and causing fire on rags, paper, solvents, lubricants, or other flammables because slag hits them. Before you ever fire up that torch, eliminate fire hazards and have firefighting capability in the event of unforeseen accidents. Wear a welding helmet with shield and the appropriate vest or long-sleeve jacket to protect yourself and to form a barrier between clothing and sparks. Where possible, use welding screens in shops and avoid the creation of hazards at the plant by removing rags, paper, solvents, or flammable substances from the work area prior to starting the job. Inspect the gauges on your gases and ensure that those gauges are working properly. You never want to use cylinders with damaged or broken gauges. When not in use, cylinders should have valves turned off, gauges bled, lines purged, and placed in the proper storage areas. It doesn't seem like a big deal, missing signage. But when you consider that correct signage in place helps prevent injury or death, then it becomes important in a hurry. Lockout tagout signs help remind miners that this equipment must be locked out, tagged out, and tested to be non-operational before guards can be removed. Warning signs about high voltage danger or electrical hazards help reinforce that only properly trained and qualified persons can work in these areas in the first place. Other workers should simply stay out of the area, and they have no business being there. Power panels and breaker boxes need to have every single switch labeled properly. It is essential that miners know which switch leads to which piece of equipment for proper lockout and tagout and other functions. Confined space signs should be in place again to remind workers that only properly trained and qualified miners can work in this area, and all others must stay out. Never enter confined spaces without following proper entry, work, and exit procedures. No smoking signs should guard fuel stations, tanks, and other areas where flammables are present. Be sure that they're in place and are clearly visible. Don't underestimate the importance of safety signage. If you see signage missing or damaged, report it to your supervisor and have it replaced at once. This one seems like a no-brainer, but there are a million excuses for miners not having on the proper PPE: hard hat, eye protection, steel-toed shoes, and the like. I left it at home. I left them in the truck. They're in my locker. I've lost them. What good will a hard hat or eye protection do you if you don't have them with you? Wear eye protection when cutting or grinding on metal. All of those sparks should tell you there is danger to the eyes. When using a chipping hammer, wear hearing protection as the noise levels increase with the vibration of the hammer. When picking up corroded metal pieces in a laydown yard, wear gloves to protect your hands from scrapes, bruises, and possible abrasions. Keep the gloves on and handle with care. As you spray paint metal or prime it with rust proofing, wear respiratory protection to keep from inhaling the airborne particles. As we've said before, if you must enter any area of the plant 6 feet or higher above a lower surface that has no guarding handrails or toe boards, put fall protection on with a body harness, shock-absorbing lanyard, and use the appropriate overhead anchorages. In all cases, wear the minimum PPE required, and when you perform jobs that require additional PPE, then put it on for your protection as well.
As you have seen, before performing any inspection, maintenance, or repair, take a few minutes to conduct that all-important tailgate meeting to plan safely for the job ahead. Additionally, always lock and tag out all energy sources before starting maintenance. Use the proper PPE, safe access, and the right tools and equipment for all your maintenance tasks. Be sure to use safe welding practices, and always keep that important safety signage in place throughout the plant. Like we said, stay well and stay alive during plant maintenance and repair. Until our next exciting mine safety training video, work safe. You know, I may not know a lot about our topic today, but I did stay in the Holiday Inn Express last night.